Thanks for joining this episode of The Blade Boys. My name is Ted Flett,
And I'm Myth Das.
and we're here to debrief on the weekend of the Japan Open, which featured six of the top skaters in both disciplines. Myth, who in the women's was a standout for you?
I think obviously the big story was Mao Asada's return and how she would do against Elizaveta Tuktamyshev, the current world champion. So Mao was on her home turf, and there was a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure, but she absolutely nailed her free skate. Like she delivered a free skate that showed everyone that, hey, I'm not just going to come back. I'm going to show that I'm in fine form. And it was, again, like a very nice, refined, mature side of Mao that we've come to sort of see over the past couple seasons. And I really liked her dress, her Madame Butterfly dress. I mean, it was a bit literal with the butterflies all over it, but she came out strong. She did the triple axel. I think it was a little bit under-rotated, and, the home ice judges might have given her a little bit the tech specialist might have gone a little easier on her than some of the other girls on their jumping passes. But regardless, like the rest of the performance was wonderful. I think that's the best double axel triple toe I've seen her do in a long time. She also executed her triple salchow, which is normally a problem for her. And even her lutz, she got a little exclamation mark instead of like the E. Again, like that might have been home court advantage, but it really did make a difference in the end because she delivered a really strong performance that proved to everyone that I can beat like the current world champion, the current Olympic champion, the current Japanese champion, the current NHK champion, and the current US champion all in one competition. So she slayed like
Boom.
five champions all in one. Like she killed five birds with one stone, if you so to speak. But that being said, her compatriot Satoko Miyahara was also phenomenal. Like her jumps have always been small because I mean she's pretty small herself, but I think she's really improved on getting them solid and getting them secure and getting them all the way around. Like her triple lutz triple toe, she brought that back this season. Instead of having two double axel triple toes, she brought the triple lutz triple toe, and that was fully rotated. You can like it was. There's a sureness to her skating now and a confidence that we're really starting to see Satoko develop. I think last year with her Miss Saigon performance was very precise and neat, but now she's really focusing on projecting more to the audience. I mean, she is in front of a Japanese audience, so I'm sure she was riled up about that. But to deliver seven clean triples in one of her best free skates that she's ever skated, I think that's a really strong showing at the beginning of the season and makes a statement as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I gotta agree with you. The Japanese women certainly owned this event, and Mao Asada just completely dominated. It's funny because Mao Asada, she schooled everybody on how to become full speed ahead, highest technical difficulty of anybody in the field in terms of what they're attempting, and you nail, about 95% of it to a long program that accentuates your elegance and your comfort on the ice and great lines and grace. I think she's looking fantastic, and that she's not showing any rust of a bit of a quasi-retirement following the Olympic season.
For sure.
I'm probably going to take a while to warm up to this program. It's a bit of it's a different feel for her. It doesn't have the same kinds of highs and lows that we saw with Rachmaninoff and Swan Lake from recent seasons. And I'm not a massive fan of the billowing sleeves personally. I find it a bit
I
distracting.
kind of
I can
like
deal with the
them.
butterflies, but the sleeves, I'm like, yeah.
I feel
You
like
like
it's
that,
a
eh?
bit of a Liu Chen throwback, right? Like I loved. I think it's actually quite nice, and it kind of makes her arms look a little more fluid. Sorry, unlike our internet right now. Sorry, Ted's having to deal with like Amsterdam internet, and like we are praying to God that this like actually manages to like not cop out by the end of our
Please
commentary.
let the internet gods be with us.
So sorry if there's any choppiness, but at least the skating was smooth at the Japan Open for the Japanese
Nice
ladies.
segue there, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because like the standings were 2 Japanese girls, 2 Russian girls, and 2 American girls at the Japan Open. But so let's get to, I guess, the second tier, not the second tier, because they still skated pretty well. But we'll get to the second tier of skaters, the 2 Russians, Elizaveta Tuktamyshev and Adelina Sotnikova, respectively the defending world and Olympic champions. And starting with Elizaveta, how do you think she did, Ted?
Well, I actually thought the Russians did not do too badly. Yes, generally speaking, Russian women dominate figure skating events right now. But for both Elizaveta and Adelina making her return to competition after winning the Olympic Games in 2014, and Elizaveta in her first competitive outing this season as the reigning world champion, it's very different. It's a very different setup and experience for both women. Elizaveta first, I thought her costume was a bit, frankly, over the top, and I don't like the direction that she's going. I thought last year she sort of deviated from the really dark gloved, long sleeve macabre costuming that she had gotten into for the Olympic season, and now she's reverted back to that. I find the marabou that's up around her neck and her collar and neckline, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too dark, and these sort of hyperextended, contorted arms and fingers that are like, just, it's over the top again, and I think it's a real shame. I feel like Machine has just sort of pulled an old Evgeny Plushenko style, or choreographed and heavily cut, hard cuts in terms of the actual program and the music, and I don't really love the direction of it. That said, in terms of her actual technical feats and what she laid down, the triple axel, good for her. She's going for it in the long program.
Fully rotated.
Yeah, fully rotated. She went down on it, but fully rotated. She made a couple little errors that you don't normally see from her. She was working the end of the program so hard, a lot of arm movements that she went down sort of in a lapse of judgment heading into her final spin, which was too bad. I think there was a double. The triple was turned into a double, and there's a lot of setup for that. Yeah, there's a lot of setup for her triple, which I think she needs to incorporate some more transitions there.
And for her triple axel, oh my God, she circles the ice, like she does 3 or 4 crosscuts and circles right back to that one point before doing her triple axel. I mean, it seems she was more confident with it last season, but I guess she's trying a different setup. But yeah, I mean, she didn't nail it this time, but it was fully rotated, which is good for her.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, of course, how she unfolds this season, because we haven't known her to be a player in the world mix only until just last season. So if she can maintain the momentum of last season, that'd be great. If she doesn't, I will probably be one of those that's not that surprised, frankly, just because it's such new territory for her.
Yeah,
as much as I am a fan, I really am an Elizaveta fan. I think I don't sound like it. I think her Lutzes are magnificent. I think last year her consistency was incredible. I think it's the triple Saukow double axel sequence, or the triple loop.
With the Thanos.
Saukow axel sequence it's fantastic. She's got great height and speed in terms of the landing position on her jumps. I think there's a lot to be excited about with Elizaveta, and I'd like to see her take her skating to the next level. It doesn't seem that she is.
Well, I think you touched on it a little bit earlier, and it's the whole Alexei Mishin, like, he's got himself all over this program. I mean, it's like the Mishin camp like invests in black fabric because that's like all their costumes, and they're all about getting nice, very clean elements, jumping elements, I should say, out of the way, and then like turning it on all of a sudden like this like energy switch, and then just going crazy with this footwork sequence. I mean, it's like a Plushenko program 101 essentially. And I think that's a step back for her. I think the judges didn't quite respond as well to her with this program. I actually think they might have been a bit generous with their component scores, because a lot of this is like one directional skating. And you mentioned her arms being like hyperextended. I actually think they're kind of limp, like they're kind of like that, like throughout a lot of the
Mhm.
program. Like she's got this like Mr. Burns thing going on. Not like her posture's good, but like the hands are just kind of like and everywhere. Like going into her jumps, like she doesn't extend. She doesn't like even when she lands, she has this nice little the Russian flourish that they always love, like that lovely flourish they have. But I think
Yeah,
going around, she just doesn't have that that it doesn't look as confident as she was last
true.
season. And I
Yeah,
think there's
I probably meant, yeah, I think I probably meant they're hyper flexed. They're
yeah.
not hyper
Yeah,
extended, which would be, yeah, you're right. They are kind of, they're just like hanging there. And
yeah,
yet they work for her because, I kind of, she'll set up for a jump with those sort of like little bird wings. And I
yeah,
think like, ooh, I don't think she's going to land this jump. She doesn't look like she's in position or she's really ready to attack it. And then boom, she does, and it's landed. So you kind of
yeah,
forgive the arms. But I agree with you. She's inconsistent in terms of how she positions her arms to the
yeah.
program.
I mean, I think it's part of her jumping technique, which is fine. But like the problem is when that like translates to the rest of the program, and it'll affect your components marks, like your carriage, like your style. Like it doesn't look as good as somebody like a Mao Asada or even somebody like Satoko Miyahara who has very very elegant arms. I think actually that's one huge improvement Satoko's made over the summer. But you don't see that in Elizaveta this year, and I'm really hoping that like this is just like a preliminary like getting the program under you type thing. There are a lot of expectations on her being the world champion, but I really hope that and this is not to dig at Plushenko, but like sometimes like the machine camp, once they have somebody who wins that and have established themselves, their programs, the choreography kind of ends up going to the dogs a little bit just because they're like, okay, well, now we're going to get mid 60s component scores regardless of what program we put out there because, hey, we have a world champion. And so then we can focus on the jumps and get those out of the way. And then at the end, turn on for this frantic footwork sequence, but like with a lot of energy and enthusiasm as a lasting impression, and hope that that kind of, for whatever reason, makes up for the rest of the program, which doesn't have that enthusiasm and that vivacity that we really saw in her step sequence. A little too much going into the final spin, but
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
love that final step sequence, like that choreographic step sequence. I think it has a lot of personality and energy, and I'm like, where was this in the
yes,
rest of the program? Like it's
yes,
like Plushenko's Nijinsky. That final footwork sequence is electrifying, but like prior to that, it's just like a jump fest, and that's not what we want to see. We want to see well-rounded
yeah.
skating, and I think Elizaveta has that in her. I think she just needs the right choreography, and uh, she, I don't want. I think Mishin is a bit of a double-edged sword for her because it's because of him that she is having this technical consistency and this like real competitive mindset. But it's also because of him that her programs, I think, aren't reaching their true potential. And we saw with Plushenko in 2012 Euros what he can do when he has a really nice choreographed program, and then I mean, then he goes back to something like his Sochi programs, which were stripped down in choreography and all about the jumps. So we're hoping that it's not this trend of like once you're back on top, it ends up like going back to like a jump fest because like it's I mean it's the smart game plan
Hmm.
because you're like okay if I can get the artistic scores regardless of what I do in between that's fine. But I think if Elizaveta wants to be seen as one of the best skaters of all time, which arguably she is, given her four triple short program, first time ever, she really needs to step up her artistry. And in 2018, if she's gunning for that Olympic gold medal, her artistry and her programs are going to have to improve. It's not just going to be about the triple axel because, I mean, as we saw with Mao, like there are other skaters who can do triple axels, and skaters without triple axels like Miyahara can pull like mid 130s and still deliver a really clean skate, which fair judges will give the nod to over somebody who tries a triple axel, falls, and then the rest of the program isn't really there. So great first
And
competition for
the
Elizaveta, but I'd
triple.
like to see more content in her program.
So meanwhile, Adelina Sotnikova, Elizaveta's teammate, also had her first competitive outing since the 2014 games. I thought overall Adelina skated fairly well. The program is a little bit over the top. No, it's a lot over the top. And she still has. I mean, it's great to see her jumping to the same level that she was jumping at the game. She has great spring to her jump still. Yes, there's some edge calls, but I thought the Lutz was excellent. I thought the flip, how it was fantastic. And although she botched the double axel triple toe jump, which is usually quite good for her and always impressive, sort of at that halfway point of the program, so she can maximize on the additional 10%. She downscaled that, and it would be good to see that back up to a double axel triple toe. And I thought overall, nice to see a finish of with the her signature catch foot sort of sideways camel spin, which is always it's a fantastic. Yeah, it's a fantastic spin and a good ending right in front of the judges to finish with that. I think in terms of taking her skating to the next level, which you expect an Olympic champion when they come back, how will they stretch and grow? And I don't think Adelina had really hit her maximum before the Olympic Games or at the Olympic Games. It was sort of an unexpected win. I don't feel that this program really does it. We've seen some glimpses of her salsa program from the short program, which I think she'll really let go and release and be fantastic in that. This Jatam program, I'm not sure. It doesn't really. It's not doing it for me.
Just sweet, yeah. Well, it's just suis malade, but I think she should feel very content about this program. I think it was
just suis malade.
Yes, like she is sad, but I'm sure she must have been happy at the end of that program, because and she had Yuka Kawaguri's little heart thing as well, which we love from the Russian ladies. And she didn't have her like trademark thing at the end from the Russian test skate, which we're very, very glad that you took that out, Adelina. But it was a very strong showing. She made some silly errors, like singling the loop, and I think her double axel triple toe, she could have landed it. She had the speed. Her double axel looks still as strong as ever, and her opening triple flip was one of the best I think she's ever done, actually. But Adelina delivered a really nice skate. I think a lot of people counted her out, and a lot of people were like, oh yeah, she's returning to competition. Yeah, like, right, got an Olympic gold medal. Just like, yeah, Tara Lipinski is also going to come back to another World after winning Worlds, and like Oksana's going to do the same, and Shizuka's going to like all these Olympic gold medalists. They tend to kind of fall off the radar a little bit after winning the Olympics. And Adelina, she did Dancing with the Stars and was obviously very popular in Russia, and still is, obviously, after her success in Sochi. So her focus last season was probably thrown a little bit off. But to come back this year when she really doesn't have, like, I think a lot of people, they're like, oh, Sochi was a fluke for, like, Adelina. She benefited from, like, home judging, which, she did. But as much as people love talking about that, people need to, like, piss off about that, because she delivered her best skate, and that was the important thing in that moment. Yes, Yuna Kim delivered a really fine skate. I thought Carolina Kostner should have won, personally, with her 7 triple skate.
Preach, I'm there with you. Ave Maria, she should have won.
Right, I thought she, if anyone was robbed, it was Carolina, more so than Yuna. Please don't kill me, Korean fans. But Adelina, yeah, even though she really has nothing to prove to anyone, because she got the gold, so never mind the rest of you.
I think she still needs to.
It's brave. It's brave.
She still needs to work on rate. She still needs to work on name recognition, which I don't think a lot of fans have, around Adelina. I think though, Je suis malade really has got to apply to the 2 American women who had really disastrous outings at the Japan Open, 5th and 6th. Shall we start with Ashley? I looked at, first of all, I was surprised. She's now a redhead, which we've seen on social media. She's dyed her hair red. Well, most redheads know you don't pair red hair with a red dress, and she's brought back the cherry red dress from
she took
last season. I think that
She
I
took
think that was a
Moulin
mismatch.
Rouge all over the way. She got Moulin Rouge. She got Moulin Rouge. She got Rouge everywhere.
Yeah,
So she
totally.
definitely got the Rouge part of Moulin Rouge down.
Yeah,
So
she's got a few different shades of rouge going on,
yeah.
and it struck me as odd. I looked at, I watched the program, and then I actually watched side by side her program from U.S. Nationals last year, and virtually, although she's switched up the triple triple combination, so she's gone back to the triple flip triple toe instead of the triple lutz triple toe, which this girl, I will never be able to understand how she thinks and plans a triple triple combination. The triple flip, triple toe used to be her go-to jump. Then she ditched it for nationals last year, and I thought, oh man, this is going to be trouble. And then could only land it, and I thought, okay, so clearly this is now her go-to. This is the triple lutz triple toe. This is her go-to triple triple. And now she's tossed it again this season and reverted back to the triple flip, triple toe. But apart from that, it's it's the exact same program. She hasn't tweaked, adjusted, finessed one thing to it. And I know she's committed to this program and it's been very good to her. I was expecting some sort of change, like mix it up a little bit, and it's nothing. It's the exact same layout, design, choreography. So I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I think going back to a program from a previous season is always difficult because people will invariably compare it to the program you did the previous season, especially uh, what I would actually say is a signature program for Ashley, Moulin Rouge, which is something she feels very comfortable with and something she feels very confident of and reflects her as a skater. You're right. Like the program hasn't really changed a whole lot. I think she could use some more transitions throughout the program. She has some lovely ones, like her little Wally into her double axel, and but like yeah, what I noticed about the skate with Ashley is that after the fall on the triple loop, triple Salchow series, which was must like you could sense the frustration after that, being like, like she had it right. Um, that kind of affected the rest of the program, and I think she was trying to focus at that point, like being like, okay, let me like deliver a strong, clean performance after that. I think the judges were a little bit harsh on her triple lutz. I mean, I from the angle I saw, maybe I think she might have two-footed it, but like some gave her like -3, and I'm like, okay, that was pretty clean, and you're pretty
Mm-hmm.
harsh. But like she still delivered the rest of the program, but not as well as she could have. I think that fire that we saw at like when she was delivering the program at the end of the season at like nationals and worlds was very evident at that point. But here it was it was very much getting back into the swing of things, and I feel like a lot of the performances here could be at Japan Open could be categorized into I'm here to show like a real like I'm competitive and I'm here to get back on the ice and sort of get my skates under me. And you could really tell who was prepared and who was like just trying to get comfortable. And that's totally fine. I mean, the Japan Open is a fun competition. It does count for like personal best and things like that. But and you still want to do really well because it's kind of like a mini world, and the Japanese
Mm-hmm.
audience is very knowledgeable, so there is that too, but they're also a wonderful, fantastic, fun audience too, so it's a great environment. That being said,
But in
Ashley,
terms of, yeah, in terms of getting down to sort of what is the seriousness of the competition, I think the competition within the competition was, which of these American girls is going to skate the other, and
yeah.
both skated poorly. So sort of finding, the best of a bad bunch amongst the two of them, and Gracie's skate was unfortunately disastrous.
Hmm.
However, I was pleased to see that with the exception of the two jumps, that she still went after at least five, tried to rotate five triples,
Are you talking about
both
Ashley
triple
or
triple combination.
yeah, Ashley? You're talking about Ashley,
Gracie,
yes.
yeah.
No,
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 I'm
no.
talking about Gracie.
Gracie, no. Gracie, she popped the flip and she doubled her sow cow, and unfortunately
Right.
she fell on her combination. I think Ashley, however, she went for the triple triple at the beginning. She was so close to getting it fully ratified. She fell on the triple loop triple sow cow, but she was the one who went for her jumps. But Gracie, on the other hand, I think she was, well, we'll talk about this. Like, she did not have a strong showing at the beginning of the season. I love her Firebird dress. I love the attitude, and you can sense this like fire and like attack and like this kind of sass that like we really haven't seen from her. So I think it's a very like the look is right, but unfortunately like her triple H triple toe. I mean, she under rotated her triple toe on her triple H triple toe, which like never happens. Like Gracie Gold is known for like rotating her jumps fully before she even like her blade even touches the ice. Like she is like technically superb on these elements usually, but again, her focus was just not there. Her double axel triple toe, like the two falls, really shook her confidence. The triple loop was very strong right after the triple H triple toe fall. It was a nice comeback jump, but unfortunately, she singled her flip. She doubled her Salchow, and she had two falls. This was
double the Salchow.
Yeah. So this was
a bad skate. Where I give her credit is that she tried to rotate, 5 triple jumps.
Yeah.
In terms of the Lutz toe and then the double axel toe. I'm glad that she's positioned now the double axel triple toe, at the halftime mark. So it's not just about attempting all these impressive triples, but ensuring that they're spread out in the program to maximize on points, which Ashley did so well with the Moulin Rouge program in terms of really back end loading her program. And now Gracie's taken that strategy on as well. It was a real shame for Gracie. I really hope she can shake this off because the program, in terms of its elements and its construction, is, I think, exceptional. It's got great chutzpah. Yes, I think she emulates, the bird, the Firebird, the positions, the arm extensions really well. And it's a departure from her sort of princessy inspired or princess-like program. So it'll be interesting to see how that one shakes down. I was hoping that with both Ashley and Gracie being there, that they would push each other to skate really well, and in fact it was the reverse. They both sort of took a while to find their feet in this first major competitive outing of the season, and perhaps having the other one there, they were looking over their shoulders, or in Gracie's case, her wings.
Or Mao Asada landing a freaking triple axel right next to them, right? That could have
you have to, sure. I mean, on a practice session, which I'll bet Mao Asada and Elizaveta Tuktamyshev were going after triple axels left, right, and center, which is probably a little disconcerting for the Americans.
Mm-hmm. And I really wish Mao Asada had done her triple flip, triple loop, just because that would have been the first fully ratified 8 triple long program. But there's still a lot of season left. I mean, there's still a lot of time for the Americans to come back. There's still a lot of time for Elizaveta to hopefully add some more content and choreography to her program and kind of get that triple axel under wraps. And there's still time for Mao to continue to kick butt. So, and Satoko as well. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
They were very impressive showing from the Japanese girls.
Yeah, I think for Mao to come out and skate a program like she did, that's only a point or two off her personal best at the Sochi Games. That's what a way to kick off the season. I think she's clearly demonstrated or put herself forward as the leading woman, not just in Japan, but in the world, and the one to watch this season. So, so we'll see what unfolds from here out. But at the Japan Open, for the ladies event, a real solid, interesting start of the ladies event this 2015-2016 season. So thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching, and we will also be covering the men's event. You can find a link here somewhere. And please feel free to follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more updates from the Blade Boys. And this is us signing off.